to talk to Lizzie Lanigan all the way from the west coast of America, where you are based. Tell us a little bit about your early days. You may not remember all of those early days that took you from Australia to the US.
Yes, I was born in Australia, born in Greenacre, and I moved to America when I was 3, so they were very early days. And then we moved back when I was 15, so I did get a little bit of time there in school and all of that. Got to wear the school uniforms and have that whole experience. And then I moved back again when I was 20 to the States. So I've been here for quite a while now, but yeah, Australia is beautiful. I definitely love it there.
Now, you went through some interesting schooling as well, to do with Hillsong.
Yes, I did their worship ministry stream. So, and then my second year there, I did songwriting, which was incredible. And we got to write a song called Here With You.
Typically, as well, in the States with a worship team.
Yes, I am.
Rising worship.
Yeah, Rising Worship. So, funny story, we actually all, they found me on Instagram, which is actually how I found like the majority of my collaborations to begin with, even with, just like a bunch of songwriting. And I have a little home studio here, so we would Skype, and we wrote our whole album, Watch and Wait. We wrote that whole thing through Google Hangouts, which is basically like Skype. And the rest of the guys on the team are in the East Coast, and so yeah, but we just connected so well, and yeah, it just feels like, it felt like we'd known each other forever, and they're super fun. And I actually went over there, we recorded our EP. It was just a really fun time, so I'm really excited about that album.
And we're really excited to introduce you back into Australian audiences with your beautiful music. I have to say, I am very excited to have found you and know that you were born here, and that we can feature you on Aussie Grown across the nation. It's really exciting.
I'm super honored that you're playing it, and yeah, thank you guys so much.
Tell us a little bit about some of the songs that you've written lately. Do you solo write or collaborate, or which do you prefer?
I love collaborating because it's like people are like colors, and it's like or like flavors, and you're adding different flavors to your songs. So I love collaborating because I feel like everyone sees things differently in life, and so when we come together and we're like, hey, let's write a song about, you know, maybe like peace, like in hard times. For example, like Your Peace, like that song with Eden Inspirations, with, you know, David Levette and John Couch and Alton Eugene, like that song came out of a perspective of how to have peace through hard times. And yeah, so I love collaborating because it's cool to just see how, yeah, everyone relates to life different. And I feel like someone will come up with a verse that sparks another idea. I'm really inspired off of melodies, so if someone plays a piano riff or a guitar riff, I'll feel emotion over it, and then I'll kind of just sing out what I feel, and then that turns into lyrics. And but I also do like writing myself, so I'm actually working on a solo EP, as well as Eden Inspirations, which we did Your Piece with. Yeah, so I love both.
Now, just on the collaborative writing, is there any clashes at all? Like you bring your experience, your thought, your inspiration for a song into an arena where someone else's thoughts and emotions have to be taken into account. Is there any sort of a clash there? How do you work that out?
Yeah, that can be interesting. I've never had that with Rising Worship. I've never had that with Eden Inspirations, but I have had that experience before, like writing during college and things like that. And I think, I mean, because like everyone sees things differently, so they might not agree with the way that you would want to word something. So I think it's a lot about just ebbing and flowing, and ultimately, I think the best thing to do that's really worked is just being like, hey, what's the best way to serve the song? And if you go into it going, this is what I'm gonna bring, this is what they're gonna bring, and we're just gonna like find what works best for the song. Sometimes even getting feedback from other people, and being like, hey, which of these is best, you know, and just being like, there's no hard feelings, like it's just fun, and keeping it fun, because songwriting is so much fun, and it's amazing to just create something. It feels like it comes out of thin air sometimes, but obviously like God, you know, gives those lyrics to us, and you know, to bless people. So yeah, so that's how I deal with that, is like I'll often go into a collaboration and be like, hey, let's like do whatever's best to serve the song, that make it as best as possible, so it can bless people and bring them hope and joy.
I suppose once you get to a collaborative songwriting process after some experience, you do have that give and take attitude as part of your processes, don't you?
Yeah, and that like and also just keeping it fun and light, you know, and not taking it too seriously. Sometimes you have to write really bad songs to get one song that you actually really like. So I think, yeah, just keeping it fun and being encouraging. Yeah, just keeping a good light atmosphere when you write.
Now, you mentioned something in there, and I thought, oh, I'll have to ask that as well. Oh, yes. How many of those songs do you have in the drawer that you've made a start on, that you've reached a little block on, or something like that? And how often do you get back to those and have a look over them and say, I can do something with that now?
Oh man, I actually was just looking in my laptop just now. Actually, I have well over like 80 something songs, more than that, from years and years ago, and like even some from just this past year, like a couple days ago. What I do is I store them on my laptop, and I'll come back to them at a certain stage, or you know, maybe even a couple days later, and I'll listen to it again, and if it doesn't like hit me in a way, or I don't feel anything from it, I kind of just leave it. And you know, sometimes you could be doing a co-writing session and that song is like, oh, like you're writing a song about, you know, joy or something, and then you're like, oh wait, I had something, what do you think of this? And you can jump off of that idea into a new idea. So yeah, I have a lot of unfinished songs. That's actually one of my like weaknesses, is just not being able to feel like the song is fully finished. But I think something someone said to me that helped was looking at it like art, and art is never really finished. Like with a painting, there's always something you could add to it, and so you just have to kind of get to a place where you have peace with it, and you're like, you know, I think that if it impacts you, it's gonna impact someone else, you know. And so yeah, and just kind of giving time and space. Some songs though, they come like super fast. Like Here With You, like that song came in probably 30 minutes. Like we had that whole thing done, and like recorded everything. So it just depends per song.
Now, Here With You, is that part of Rising Worship, or is it one of your own?
That's a solo one. So that's one that I wrote with my friend, who his artist name is The Identity, and he's based in South Carolina. But we wrote that at Hillsong College, so he's one of my friends from there.
Just a little bit about Here With You.
Yeah, so Here With You, it's a song about God's presence. It's a song about just finding, like, letting go of distractions, and just knowing that like when you're in that moment and you feel God's love, that like that's the thing that matters the most. And I know in my own life that yeah, like spending time in his love has been something that has brought me hope and joy. And yeah, so it's about that. And it's actually cool, his brother is in Germany, and just recently played the song with his school's worship band, so they sent us a little video, and that was super encouraging.
It's about your current single, Your Peace. Tell us a little bit about the thought processes of that.
Yeah, so Your Peace came from Eden Inspirations. So John Couch is he's an Apple Vice President of Education, super nice man. He lives in San Francisco, that kind of area in California. So I connected with him through my friend David, based in LA, and Alton Eugene is with Bethel Music. So I met him actually when I was doing school at Bethel, and they're all amazing people. So Your Peace came from a poem that John wrote, and he was going through a really difficult time, and really just needed to find hope in God and hope in his situation, and it really felt like a hopeless place. And so yeah, so he gave us this poem, and then it got turned into your piece. So there wasn't any music to it, there wasn't like a full-on song, it was just some lyrics, and yeah, and then that's kind of how that all came about. We recorded it at Jesus Culture Studio in Redding, California, and our sound producer, Andrew, he actually just passed away. He was 29, but he did such a phenomenal job with that track. And so yeah, it's been cool to hear the feedback from it, and yeah, and just to like see that it's just awesome to see music bring hope and healing to people. My grandma's actually 89. She's got dementia, but it's amazing because when you play music, it's like she's back in the 1960s, and she'll just come alive again and light up. And I love the power of music. It's incredible how, you know, it just brings joy and lights people's hearts up. And so yeah, so that's kind of the backstory of your piece. And the rest of this album that we're going to be working on will hopefully release the end of this year. We actually in January recorded 2 songs. Oh yeah, Sound for Freedom, so that's the one. It's actually based off of a script that's going to be releasing for a movie, but they sent me the script, and yeah, it's pretty heartbreaking. It's about human trafficking, and I can't say too much about it, but it's cool that like there's, you know, more awareness being brought to that, and yeah, so this song is basically about seeing freedom for victims of human trafficking.
Many blessings to you for being involved in that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so true what you said, Hank, like that. It's just incredible, you know, and I love that music it's not so much about the artist, it's about the songs, and the songs, it's about, you know, the songs blessing people and bringing hope and life, and like you said, it's just it's a beautiful way to bring hope and healing to people, because, you know, there's a lot of brokenness and hurting that people go through, and I know from my own life there's been songs that I've listened to that have really brought me hope in seasons that I needed it, and even, yeah, it just blessed my heart. So it's yeah, exactly. It's so awesome to see that, especially for people with mental health issues like dementia and Alzheimer's, to see how that music just takes them to a really happy place, and yeah, it's incredible.
You know, working with your hands is mentioned very heavily in the Bible, that Jesus' father was a carpenter. He talks about the potter's clay working with gold and silversmiths, all of those sorts of things in the New and Old Testament. Yet there's the only other sort of arty, crafty thing is songwriting and singing and playing of instruments.
Yes.
Well, I'd have to investigate that further, but that is, yeah, a very biblical therapy.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Just going to move on to another song. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, I love that verse, Zephaniah, I think it's 3:17, where it says that God rejoices over us with singing. And it's so crazy because, yeah, like he chooses to rejoice over us with song, and then gives us the opportunity to rejoice over him with song. And I love that.
That is very good, yes. Tell us a little bit about another song that you mentioned coming up. We won't be using any of these explanations and things beforehand. We'll be waiting and keeping hold of those until the songs are released.